Transparent moment. I'm having a transparent moment right now. And the transparent moment that I am going to have right now is tell you all, my viewers, my audience, the truth of the fact that I have been being fake and fraudulent. As much as I sit here and talk to you all about authenticity, me, myself, I have been being fake and fraudulent. I think I finally come to the point at my big age of 41 to feel confident enough to just live out my true desires. Not even live out my true desires, be honest. Be honest first about my true desires. Acknowledge my true desires. Say it out loud, my true desires. Because for so long I wasn't. I kind of treaded along the line. I kind of got close, but I never felt confident enough just to fully step into being open and honest about my true desires. And because of that, I feel like I wasted so much time. I wasted so much time. This is my honest, true feeling. Now, does that mean I wasted so much time? Is that an honest assessment that the time it took me to be confident enough to acknowledge and say what my true desires are, that was just a waste of time? No, of course not. Everything has its time, its purpose. But that's how a part of me felt for a long time. And it's like, dang, like if I had just been honest about my desires of what I truly want, instead of worrying about if my desires could actually be attainable and come true, or if my desires sound silly and stupid and childish and frivolous, or if my desires have any purpose or meaning, like what's the point? If I had just been honest about it and not worried about the external perception or perspective that I felt other people might have had or other people had, it's like, where would I have been? You know? And I'm not saying that to regret or hold something against me. It's just to say that, to tell you all that when we hold back from being our authentic selves, authentic to the point of being authentic about what it is that you desire, we hold ourselves back from a lot of our purpose, our gifts, our opportunities. And I don't want y'all to waste time or waste years or waste any more time or any more years treading along. I want you to feel emboldened and just step into speaking, acknowledging, aligning with your desires of what it is that you truly desire without thinking about all of the noise that your thoughts may bring into your forefront. So if you don't know, I am Melissa Renee. I am your host. I am your creator of Her Mind is Beautiful. And this is episode 17. And we're about to get into all of the good stuff when it comes to you being honest about what you really desire and the importance of you being honest about what you really desire. Because some of you might be like, oh, what's the big deal? It's a big deal. You know my saying, it's never that deep until it is. Okay. So welcome, y'all. Make sure y'all like, make sure y'all subscribe, make sure you share this with your other sis or someone who you know who would be interested in this. to sit down and listen, because this might be for you and this might be for them. So come in, you're welcome to Her Mind is Beautiful, where we explore the mind, we open the heart, and we are healing the soul and spirit. Okay? Okay, and it's sexy. We're going to make it look so good when we do this. Because that's the time, that's the era, this is the moment I'm in, okay? It's not just about healing. Well, I mean, it is essentially about healing, but it's about healing with style, with grace, having fun. You know, we always talk about us healing and doing the work, and oh, it's just so dark and it's so this. And yes, it is trying times, honey, okay? It is challenging times. That is for sure. But it doesn't mean we can't make it look good while we do it, okay? Because Black people, we've been making surviving and struggling look good for the longest. So, baby, if we can make surviving, do you hear me, sis? If we can make surviving and struggling look good, oh, shit. We about to make this healing thing look amazing. It's going to be the flyest thing out since sliced white bread. Better believe it. So, now that we got all of that out of the way, this reminds me of a story. Me talking about me not being honest about my desires. It just reminds me of so many times I had the opportunity to really step in and just take on my desires, and I allowed external influences to kind of talk me out of it, in a sense, or I talked myself out of it. And I could recall, like, when I went to school. So when I was going to college, I wanted to major in theater. But I wasn't just going to major in theater. I wanted to major in theater, and I was going to major in like mass communications as well. But when I was getting ready to go to college, and I had family members ask me, so what is it that you're going to do when you go to college? What are you going to major in? And I said what I wanted to major in. Theater. It was like, what you going to do with a theater degree? I mean, how you going to eat off of that? How's that lucrative? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? What is it that you're going to do? And with that alone had me like, oh, well, what am I going to do? You know, like what am I going to do with the theater? And the thing about it is, had I felt comfortable, had I been confident, had I been rooted in a certain level of authenticity, I could have very well been able to explain and elaborate what it is I was trying to do in theater. I think when my family heard me say I wanted to major in theater, they automatically was like, oh, well, what if it don't work out if you become an actor? And honestly, I should have been like, and what if it does work out? That's what I want y'all to say to yourselves, not just to people, but say this to yourself. Let this be a mantra. Every time you start to question why you should go after your desires or your dreams or your goals or walk in your purpose, and you say, well, what if it doesn't work? I want you to say, and what if it does? What if it does work? Then what? I believe we burden ourselves so much with all the thoughts about what if something doesn't work? What if something doesn't work? We never prepare ourselves for what if it does work? So a lot of times when those opportunities arise for us, we're so ill prepared that the opportunity can slip right through our hands, right through our fingers, because we never prepare for the what if it does. We've always rooted ourselves in the what if it doesn't. So I'm going to expect the worst. But we never plan and prepare for the best. So it's like that's what I should have said to my family in that moment. But I didn't know how to say that. I didn't even know how to really say, well, who's to say that I'm doing theater because I'm just trying to be an actress? And then the reality of it is, of course, I like drama. I mean, I was in drama since I was in sixth grade, theater since I was in sixth grade. And I liked acting, I did. But what I really loved was like creating. I love writing. I love writing skits, writing plays. I love writing books. Like I love the creating, the characters aspect. I loved all of that. So a lot of the things that I did when I took theater throughout my middle school, high school, and even when I took a course in college, I wasn't acting as much as I was creating scripts, creating plays, like creating sets. I literally created sets in high school in theater. Like I learned how to create sets. I learned about placement, staging. I learned about lighting. I learned about theater makeup. Like I learned so many things, and I was intrigued by it all, that it wasn't just acting. So what I should have said is, what you mean if what doesn't work out? If acting doesn't work out, well, I can be a writer. I can be a set designer. I can do lighting. I can do sound. I can do staging. I can direct. But I just didn't know. And that was like one of the first times that I didn't live or acknowledge my desires. I kind of suppressed my desires and started to turn away from that because I felt like it was unattainable. So I created all of these things of, well, I probably don't want to do acting because and I didn't create them. These were thoughts, but it was like, oh, well, I do want a family. How can I really act and get married and have a family? How is that going to work? So yeah, I probably don't, because I want a family. I want to have some stability in my life. I don't want to be uprooting my kids or be away from my children or my husband for this amount of time because I have to work here. It's not really stable. And I start conditioning myself with all of these reasons why I shouldn't live in my desire of going to school for theater. And truly, me acknowledging my desire and me being honest about my desire, it would have allowed me to really be honest of like, what is my desire for theater? And what I really would have got to the root of it is, it's like, well, I really desire to make a statement. I really desire to make an impact. I really desire to be seen and to be heard. That is like my desire. I feel like I have something to say. I just know that I'm supposed to do great things. And whatever this great thing I'm supposed to do, I'm supposed to channel it through talking, communication, visual, creativity. Like this, I know this. And when we don't acknowledge our true desires, when we're not honest about what it is that we truly desire, we can't unpack and get to the layers of what it is that we're calling for within. Like what I feel like I'm calling for within, even surpass, because I say, oh, I want to be seen and I want to be heard. But it's not even truly that I want to be seen and I want to be heard, because it's not to say that, oh, if I get 2 views on this podcast, that it's like, oh, nobody saw me, nobody heard me. I got TikToks right now that don't have no views or no likes, or, like I have that. So it's not to say that, oh, my desire is that I want people to see me and hear me. But I think on a deeper level, when I say want to be seen and want to be heard, it's just a way to say I want to express myself. I want to express my thoughts. I want to express my feelings. I want to express my ideas. I want to express every aspect about me in a way that is moving, impactful, and healing. That's my true desire. Once I unpack everything, once I unpack, okay, you want to be you desire to be in the entertainment industry. Okay, let's unpack that. Okay, you really desire to be seen and heard. Okay, let's unpack that. Okay, you really want to be able to express yourself, express your authentic self in a way that's impactful, that's healing, that's moving. Do you see how I did that? And getting that understanding and understanding that, I realized like, oh, well, there's so many ways and layers of me expressing myself authentically where it moves people and it heals people and it impacts people. So I don't necessarily have to act. Yeah, that chapter closed. But guess what? Here's another chapter that opened, because ultimately what my desire is rooted in, I can do in so many ways. It's so many facets that I can channel to really express or really live in or acknowledge my authentic, true, honest desires. So here is a her reflections time. Okay. Y'all know I'm coming. Y'all know, listen, okay, we could chit chat, we could talk, but we gonna work too. But we gonna have fun doing it. Can you recall a time where you weren't honest about what you truly desire in fear that it was superficial, unattainable, or that it wasn't more likely, or that it was more likely not going to happen? So I'll say that again since I stumbled and fumbled. Can you recall a time when you weren't honest about what you truly desire in fear that it was superficial or unattainable, or that it was most likely not going to happen? And some in to clarify, unattainable and most likely not going to happen, meaning like unattainable, meaning like, okay, you desire that, but it's like, it's, I just don't have the tools. I don't have the resources. I don't sit in a position where I think that's something that I can obtain, versus it's something that's more likely not going to happen, meaning like, wishful thinking. I'm not even, because to say it's unattainable, meaning you sat down and you thought about that desire. You thought about it like, I wonder like if I can, I wonder if I could be an actress. Okay. You may even go look up, ask questions like, okay, what's the start? And then once you start reading, researching, or gaining answers or advice from other people, it starts to feel more and more out of your reach. Like, okay, maybe I'm barking up the wrong tree. Maybe I'm biting off way more than I can chew. So you feel like, okay, this is something I cannot attain. I won't be able to do this. And then the other aspect is like, oh, I would like to be an actress. I just don't foresee that happening at all. Like, you just quickly dismiss it. As quickly as that desire comes, that you've been thinking about it, as quickly as you just dismiss it. Like, has that happened to you? Have you done that about something? And it doesn't have to be a goal. When I say your true desires, it could be, I've said this before, it could be like you desire to be married. It's a lot of us as women, especially Black women, who aren't honest about that, because you have the whole, oh, you a pick me. you a pick me. Oh, they make you feel like it's trivial, like it's silly, like who wants to be married? Well, that's a desire. Some people want to be married. They want to find that companionship, somebody that they can grow with, they can build a family with. That's not silly. It's not trivial. Just because your desire is not to become an open heart surgeon doesn't mean that your desire is silly, frivolous, or less important than someone who does want to be an open heart surgeon. Okay, y'all just have two different desires, two different directions in life. That's all. Your desire doesn't have to be something that has to be like, oh, I want to be, a dentist or a doctor. Or I want to create generational wealth. Your desire can be very simple, and simple ain't bad or negative or unimportant. It's just that it's just straight up right there. Nothing to it. No reading into it. So, sis, let's be real, okay? A lot of us aren't fully honest about what we want. And when we're not honest, we block ourselves from attracting it. Remember, I said that. When you're not being honest about some people say wish fulfilled, your desire, when you're not being honest about it, you already blocking yourself from attracting it. So today I do want to talk about naming your real desires. Naming your real desires is the first step to aligning them so that you can manifest them. So when you talk about and you're honest about your real true desires, your authentic desires, that sets the direction to you aligning and then manifesting them. So it's not that your desires are unattainable. It's not that your desires is like, it's just never going to happen. It's not that your desires is silly and frivolous or superficial. It's that you haven't been honest about it. You're not being real about what it is that you want, so that you can then align yourself to that, so that you can manifest it and attract it. Now we're going to go into talking about why we had our true desires. Why do we have our true desires? So I spoke on this with episode 16 about why we find ourselves being envious. And a lot of it comes back to judgment. Well, here she is again. Fear of judgment. Fear of judgment. Okay. I don't want to sound desperate if I say I want love. I don't want to sound cheesy and desperate if I say what's your desire? My desires, I want to meet my soulmate. I want to meet the one. Like, this ain't a movie. Well, where you think movies come from? Movies are nothing but an imitation of life. Life is not the imitation of art. Even though that's what people are trying to do right now, turn life into imitating art. Very performative. That's how people are trying to live right now. But no, that's not it. Art has always been the imitation of life. So when we see these love stories, some of these stories they come from a place of authenticity. So, maybe it's a little razzle dazzle on it, Maybe, it's spruced up. Maybe, it wasn't as, cool and player like. But it could have been a situation where someone met someone and it was love at first sight. They knew that was that person that they wanted. They pursued it and they fell in love. Now, maybe the details were slightly different and off, but the root of the story was true. It was real life. And our fear of judgment is our fear that we, like I say, we desire superficial, surface, or lacks depth. Okay, we don't think it's deep. saying stuff like, I want to cure world hunger. She talking about she want to cure. You stand in line. You 1.577 whatever millionth person who talk about they want to cure world hunger. Like, but if that's what you desire, if that's what's on your heart, if that's your heart, then why wouldn't you be honest about that and say, hey, who cares if somebody think it's stupid and frivolous and silly? Don't allow other people's limitations and limited belief and their lack of living in their truth and owning their true desires. Don't let that be something that's burdensome on you. That's not your burden to carry, excuse me. And sometimes it's for you to step out and be the example that people need to see. Because as soon as you step out, and we see it every day, somebody step out and start doing something that other naysayers said couldn't happen or you shouldn't do, and that person does it, then everybody wants to do what? Everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon. Everybody wants to jump on the bandwagon. Now everybody wants to do it. Oh, it worked for her. Oh, that worked. Let me do it. So instead of you waiting to see somebody else do it and say, okay, then it works, it's possible. Why don't you be the person to show people that it's possible? Like we have our moments now. One moment we want to stand out and be the person that stand out. But when the opportunity presents itself for us to stand out, we don't want to stand out. Okay, when we have to be the example, we don't want to stand out, if you know what I mean. So understanding that even the most selfless act, selfless desire comes from some sort of fulfillment. When you hear people say, I love giving back, I want to give back, or I want to be seen of servitude and giving back, like they want or desire to be able to have a impact of the community, like me, it's still some type of self-fulfillment that I want. You see what I'm saying? Like it's something, me giving back, me sharing, like I say, me being able to express who I am, my authentic self, and impact other people. That fulfills me. That makes me feel good inside. Somebody who is kind and they're just a kind person makes them feel good about being kind. So then they like to do it because I feel good about being kind. I feel good about giving back. So it's still something that's rooted in some self-fulfillment. And it's a difference between wanting to give and be of servitude of people because that brings you joy, that brings you fulfillment, that brings you happiness, versus doing it because you're looking for some type of validation. Don't confuse the two. Okay? Because one is looking for other people to view you that way. The other is just you simply doing it because how you view you and how it makes you feel. You don't care how it makes other people feel. It's about how it makes you feel. Another one is the past pain and disappointment. You tried love over and over, it ain't work. You tried to go for that dream and, have the life that it ain't happening. It's not working. So because of that, it's like, why, that's a stupid, silly desire. Like this, I can't, like, that's impossible to do. I wrote down, I asked for it before and didn't get it. So now I pretend I don't want it. I asked for it. I didn't get it. So now it's like, I really, how we used to do as kids. I ain't want none anyway. Yes, you did. Or like I expressed and made an example in earlier when I told the story about me, because I was told that going to theater was not going to be lucrative or something I couldn't do. that would sustain a living for me, I then gave all kind of excuses to myself about why it can't happen. You know, all to try to downplay and pretend like it's something that I didn't want or didn't desire. I wrote, our fear of the pain of feeling disappointed because we weren't able to attain what we wanted or desire, but not taking in the factors of why. Maybe you were going to receive it, but in divine timing. Maybe you weren't ready. Maybe you weren't aligned. So assuming that you wanted this thing, you tried, you asked for it, it didn't happen. So now it's like, okay, then it just must be something I'm not supposed to have. But you're not looking at all of the other aspects. Like, was it the time? Was it a right time? Like, you know, maybe you was going to give it, but in what you had going on, your mindset, where you was at mentally, it wasn't it. You was going at, like I say, the opportunity was going to slip through your hand because you wasn't prepared for if you did receive it, if you did attract your desire. You wasn't prepared for that. So had that happened then, it would have slipped through your fingers. It's just like me. That's the understanding I'm getting. And I'm honestly getting this download and revelation as we speak about me, for me. You know, I'm constantly sitting here like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm not seeing anything. And it makes sense why I'm not seeing anything, because I'm not preparing myself for when it does happen. I'm only looking at why it ain't happening. So how am I going to, and that goes into not being ready. I'm not prepared. I'm not ready. So I'm not going to be aligned. Okay. I'm not prepared. I'm not going to be aligned. I'm not prepared to sit. I'm not prepared for if somebody called me now. I'm like, oh, I love what you talk about. I love this, that, and the third. Could you come and talk to people here? Could you come and, I would love for you to speak at this place. I would love for you to speak at that place. I didn't even think that far. I didn't even think like, oh, I never thought about me doing speaking engagements. I never thought about me doing public speaking. Like, oh, okay. So now if the opportunity comes and somebody's like, oh, could you do that? I never even thought about it. I don't even know what to charge. I don't even know what to ask for, because I never thought about it. I never prepared myself. I never prepared myself to say, let me prepare myself and set up what I would charge if someone asked me to do some public speaking, or a speaking engagement. Let me prepare myself. What would I charge? What would be my requirements? So when you're not prepared, you're not ready, you're not aligned, that means that it's not your timing. That desire that you were expecting to happen didn't happen, not because it just wasn't in the cards for you. It's because you didn't put it in the cards for you. You didn't prepare yourself. You didn't align yourself. Of course, culture narratives as well is another reason, and it's strong Black women shouldn't need anyone. That's just an example. So if your desire is, I want to find a good man, I want to find a soulmate, I want to find someone who I can grow with, I want to find someone who will love me for me and I can love them and accept them for them. But you have people telling you, if somebody said, what's your true desire? To find that one, find that man. Child, oh my gosh. Child, love yourself, need yourself. Definitely. But guess what? You being honest about that desire of wanting to find your soulmate or wanting to find that person, that one, will put you in the position of aligning yourself by starting to love yourself. By you loving yourself the way you would want that man that you meet to love you. It all goes together. It all goes together. It's not separate. We think things are so separate. We think, oh, desires is separate from healing. Healing is separate from self-love. Self-love is separate from your actions, your goals. No, it's all in together. It all operates off of each other. Every part, everything, all the energies, they operate off of each other. So that's why when our masculine and our feminine is imbalanced, everything is off. Everything. It ain't when your masculine and your feminine energy is imbalanced. It's not, oh, that's just off. My money just off. You know, my money a little funny. My money off. No. Oh, my love life just, no, that shit all the way off. All of that shit imbalanced. Your love life, your career, your money, your finances, your family, your friends, all of that shit is imbalanced because it all operates and it's connected and it all goes and flows together. And when it don't flow and go together, that means something in it's a chink in the armor. It's a chink in the link. Now, as women, we deny or water down our truth, then wonder why our manifestations feel blocked. So how does denying our truth or desire show up in our life or reality? So how does it look like? Because some of you may not understand. When I do this, I want y'all to see when you block your desires, when you're not honest about what it is that you desire, how is this showing up in your reality that you might not even be aware of, that you're not even paying attention to because you just think like, oh, you know, like I told you, it's all together. It's all cohesive. It all goes together. It all flows together. So when you're not living in your truth in one area, it is definitely affecting other areas in your life. So how is this showing up in your reality? How is denying your desire showing up? We start living inauthentically. I mean, how else you gonna live? I'm telling myself I really don't want to act. I mean, I really don't want to do theater because it's all of this other stuff. I'm telling myself that I'm being fake. I'm not living in my authenticity. I'm being inauthentic. Now I'm going to start telling untruths in the area of what it is that I really want, which then is going to have me to detach from my feminine energy, because feminine energy is about what? It's about us being what? Being you. And that causes us to live in lack. Like I say, you focusing on what you can't have, what you don't think you deserve, what you probably ain't gonna ever get, instead of being grateful, living in gratitude, and welcoming in and preparing for abundance. See, I'm in the stage now, I'm preparing for abundance. Do I get weary at times? Yes. You know what I'm saying? Do I have moments when I'm just like, oh, I'm frustrated and I need to cry and I need to just ramble out these thoughts that's being noisy in my head? Yes. And after I ramble them and I put them out, guess what? Okay. It's just my thoughts. Is there any truth to that? I don't know. The fact that I don't know and I can't say yes or no says that that's why I need to leave it. Because I don't know. I don't know the truth of it. And I'm not going to know the truth until I get out of overthinking and step into actually making the necessary moves I need to make. And it causes us to look outside of ourselves. So now we living in lack, always talking about what we can't do, what we don't have. And now we looking outside of ourselves, looking for other people to help compensate what it is that we lack. I'm looking for you to tell me, oh, you can do it. You can do it. Or, oh, well, you know, I don't see you doing that. You seem more like this. Like you looking all outside of you for the answers. You looking for people to build you up, people to applaud you, people to tell you what you should be doing, people to tell you what they will accept if you do it. Oh, you should be a doctor. We don't have any doctors in the family. Be a doctor. Like, what you mean? Why you ain't been a doctor? No, I said, I'm laughing, but seriously, ask them that. Next time you have a family member, you should be a doctor. You should be a nurse. And if they're not a doctor or a nurse, you say, well, why didn't you go to school to be a doctor or a nurse? Why didn't you do that? Why didn't you? Because you could have did that too. You would have been our doctor. Ask that question. Okay. And we deflect by using other things as a distraction. This is what happens when we deny our desires. We use the decentering men narrative as an example, right? Did you hear these women? Decenter men. You're decentering. The reason why you got to tell yourself to decenter men is because you were centering them. And decentering them, you're still, once again, centering yourself around a man. It just went from, oh, I want a man to, oh, nothing men. No, anytime a man, anything about men come up, we got to turn away. Like you putting, I got this from G Malone. Excuse me. I got this from G Malone. Glasses below. I'm stealing this California phrase. Y'all be out here putting a 10 on a 2. Okay? Y'all be putting a 10 on the 2. It's not that deep. It's not that serious. And the only reason you're trying to decenter men is because your heart of heart and your desires is that you do want to find a man that loves you. Be honest with that. Be honest about that. And being honest about that, you can then get to unpacking why do you feel like you desire to find a man to love you. And then you start to unpack, and what you will find is that, okay, now your focus is more about you and less about a man, because now you're working on you. You ain't working on all the ways to decenter a man. You're working on all the ways to heal you, all the ways to love on you, all the ways to put you in a position so that you can align yourself and attract that man that is for you. And you will be prepared when he comes. And I'm going to give you an example, because it's a lot of you women who've experienced this. You sat in a position where you wanted a good man. That good man came along. He came along. You was, he just too nice. He just, I just need him to be more like, it's just something. No, what it is that you weren't prepared. You weren't prepared for that man. That man came and you wasn't prepared for it. So because you wasn't prepared for it, because you wasn't prepared in the sense of feeling undeserving, feeling living in lack, thinking in lack, you don't feel like when a good man come along and he treats you right, you don't feel deserving of it. And that's why you like, he's just too nice, because you feel like you don't deserve a man to treat you that good. I don't deserve it because I might cheat on them, and then I might lie, and then I might, because you, and this goes back to what I said previously about you had desires that you wanted, it didn't happen, and you think, oh, what's the point? I tried, I asked, it didn't happen, but you didn't take in account for the fact that you were not prepared, you were not ready, you were not aligned. So that's why it didn't come. And when it did come, you didn't know what it was staring you straight in your face, because you was not prepared. You were not ready. You were not aligned. So now later you looking back like, ooh, that's a good man, Savannah. That is a good man. Was a good man. That was a good man. What was I thinking? You wasn't. You just wasn't ready. You didn't notice, you didn't realize, you couldn't see it because you still had work to do. Because you didn't prepare yourself and align yourself for that man when he came. Now, this is how denying your desires prevents you from healing and growing. Because being honest about your desires allows you to unpack why you have such desires, which I've been saying through the whole episode. When you are honest about what it is you desire, you can then unpack and get to the root of these desires. Why do I desire? Just like I sat here and did it with y'all. Oh, I want to be seen and heard. I want to be seen and heard. Why do I want to be seen and heard? Like, so you want to be seen and heard? Like, does that mean that if, you're not going to do anything, or you don't feel fulfilled in doing anything unless other people see you and hear you? Well, no, not really, because I do things and I'm not necessarily like, I'm not viral. I don't have the numbers and nothing like that, but I still come and I do this. So what is motivating me to keep living and being honest in my desires and keep like desiring what I'm doing? If it's not because of the people, then I had to unpack that. Well, what is it? What do I like? What is it that I loved about acting? What is it I love about being on stage? What is it I love about when I did makeup? What is it that I loved about when I was singing and I was writing my music? Like, all of these aspects and all of these things allowed me to express me. Some part of me I was able to express and be authentic with what I was doing. You know what I'm saying? This is something I authentically that I enjoyed, loved doing, felt like it was a part of me. And now I can say, oh, so it's not just me just wanting to be seen, but it's me being able to express myself in a way that it impacts other people. So when I did makeup, it was me expressing myself while impacting somebody else. Because when I saw women who was like, oh, I don't really do makeup, I don't really do that, or seeing young girls who sit in my chair who getting their makeup done for the first time for prom, for graduation pictures, whatever the case may be, for their birthday, and to see how they look once their makeup was done, just to see how beautiful they felt, to see how happy they felt, if only for that moment. Like, I felt good about that. I felt good about making an impact. Okay, I made this young lady, or I made this woman, even if it was 5 minutes, see herself as a beautiful. And maybe she needs that, because maybe she don't feel like that all the time. So maybe me doing her makeup allow her to be able to see herself, to say, I'm beautiful. You are. And it's not to say that, okay, you walk around with makeup all day long because that's the only way you're going to feel beautiful. But sometimes you need something to motivate you, something for you to honestly know, okay, you're beautiful. Enough to make you feel beautiful, enough for you to be able to tap into that feeling, embody that feeling of, oh, I feel beautiful. And that can be like a imprint in your nervous system. Like now your nervous system knows what feeling beautiful is. And maybe you can draw from that one day when you're not feeling so good. Maybe you can pull yourself up and draw from that. You know what? Oh, take me back to the time where Melissa Renee did my makeup and I felt beautiful. I want to embody that and feel that and to feel that again. And maybe they're able to draw from that. So now I understand all of these things that I did. I did it because I was able to express myself in a way that it could impact, heal, or move other people. To do what? To impact, to heal and to move other people. Being honest about your desires allows you to unpack why you have such desires. And when and in unpacking the way you gain clarity on what you desire are really telling you about your unmet needs. So unpacking the way you gain clarity on what it is you desire is really telling you about your unmet needs. So it's like I say, it's a trickle down effect. It all goes together. It all is attached. It all flows together. So if I'm able to express and say what it is I desire and be honest about that, just the way you saw me just unpack, like, okay, I desire to, be able to either have a platform where I can talk to people, I can express, I can say something. I want to be on the forefront. I want to be seen. I want to be heard. So what do you want to be seen and be heard for? I want to be seen and I want to be heard for something that's going to be purposeful, that's going to be moving, that's going to impact the people. And I want to do it in being my authentic self. And I want people to be moved by that, so that then can help them be their authentic self. See, all of this stuff is just unpacking and getting to the root, because what is probably unmet with why I want to do that is because somewhere down the line, I struggled and I was challenged with living in my authenticity and expressing who I am authentically, because I've had people to tell me what I can and cannot do, who I can and cannot be. By me having the desire to say, well, I can do this and I can be this and I can do and be this by being who I am. I don't have to put on. And maybe that's why me working in the job force wasn't my thing, because I couldn't. I mean, of course I work. If I got to work, I'm gonna work. But I now understand why it was challenging for me, because in working, it was so many politics and so many things. It's like you couldn't be yourself. You had to conform and be something that was so far removed from you, just to maybe get a promotion, or just to get a certain position or get a pay raise or something like that. And it ain't to say that I wouldn't work. It's just to say, now that I understand what it is and what the struggle was, because I never knew. Okay, the struggle is that the workforce tries to conform you into not being authentic. Now I know, like, for one, maybe look for jobs where it's not so much like conforming. Or if I have to get a job that they try to conform, I know how to maneuver and find a way to where I can still be myself, and I don't have to totally remove myself or detach from myself. It's not about centering or decentering men, okay? It's not about seen or not being seen or being seen. It's about centering yourself. It's about authenticity, healing, alignment. That's what it's all about when it comes to your desires. And that's how you're going to attract your desires, because you're going to be true. You're going to be honest. And you're going to heal the things that need healing, which in fact is going to align yourself with being ready to attract and receive your desires in abundance, because that's what we claiming here this season. Abundance. So you don't need to chase companionship, but you do need to admit if you desire it. You don't need to chase companionship. You don't need to chase a lifestyle. You don't need to chase a dream. You just need to admit that you desire it. You just need to be honest about it. If you know that you desire to live in a nice neighborhood, a gated community, admit that, say that. And then you can then unpack why it has to be a gated community. What does that symbolize? What does that mean to you? And when you get to the root of that, you're going to truly understand what your desire is. And that's going to allow you to be able to heal the unmet needs or the things in you that allows you to feel like, okay, this is what I desire. And then you can get to the root of it. And then you can align yourself to really receive it, because now you're not receiving it from a place, you're not asking for it and or desiring it from a place of lack to try somehow to validate you, or, to try to somehow accommodate your insecurities or inadequacies. But you're doing it now because that you're tapping in and connecting to who you are authentically. So I've used this before, I use it again. So your desire of your lifestyle, you may unpack it and start to realize like, okay, it's not necessarily that I desire to be materialistic. It's the fact that my needs was unmet because I grew up with humble beginnings. I grew up where, wasn't sure if lights was going to be on or off. Wasn't sure if food was going to be, on the table. Some days we didn't have food in the refrigerator. So you may felt like, what? I desire to have this home, this lifestyle, this living that I never had. This gated community, because gate represents security, represents safety. And maybe your unmet needs is that you never felt safe and secured. So the nice neighborhood in the gated community doesn't necessarily represent your superficial wants. But if you dig deeper, it represents your unmet needs. And it's to say that, once you unpack that and you heal that, you might realize like, well, I don't need, it don't got to be a gated community. I just want these nice things because these things make me feel warm. They make me feel safe. They allow me to have a dwelling or a home where it's my sanctuary and I feel safe and protected in. So as long as I have these things, as long as, I've created this space for me, I don't really need the gate, or if you still want it, it is what it is, but you know where it comes from and why it is. So feminine energy and desire, how does this connect? Because I already explained to y'all that, of course, when you aren't honest about your desires, you essentially disconnect from your feminine energy, because your feminine energy is about being. And being is all about authenticity, tapping into you, connecting to who you truly are, learning how to be vulnerable and open to your vulnerabilities and being soft. All of these things that are you. Feminine energy is rooted in receiving, not giving, receiving, being and receiving. But you cannot receive what you won't admit you want. If you're not being honest about what it is you want, you're not going to receive it. You're not going to get it. So when you telling yourself, I really don't want the house, it don't just, I just want something, something modest. It don't have to, and that's not what you want. You're not going to receive it because you're not putting yourself in a position to receive, because you're not being honest or admitting what it is that you want. Admit what it is that you want. That's the first step of receiving. How you gonna manifest something? How you gonna, you inside, you know what you want within, but you gonna just express and say something else and try to manifest, and you talking about manifestation don't work. Yes, it do. It doesn't work because you aren't manifesting your true desires. You're trying to manifest somebody else's. You're trying to manifest what other people will accept you for or will be okay for. It's not about what other people accept. This is not the season about trying to pacify other people. This is the season of you. This is the season about you healing, about you taking accountability, and about you doing what you need to do for you, serving you, and ridding things that don't serve you. So her reflection time, or you can use this as a journal prompt. What do I truly desire in love, lifestyle, and purpose? What do you desire in love? What do you desire? I know what I said I desired in love. I know I was like, I just want a man who will love me for me. And that's what I got. That's how I know manifestation is real. It's not fake. It's very much real. It's too many things that I've said that I wanted and that I got, that I wasn't even trying to get. It just came. It just flowed in. I just attracted it. That's how I got my husband. I never said I need a man like this. I just was sitting there, like being vulnerable, talking out loud to myself, or to the Most High, and was like, you know what? I just want somebody who will love me for me. That's all I want. That's all I want. And I kept saying it. And then I got it. That's not coincidence. That's manifestation. I remember when I was young in high school, I used to say this with my best friend then in high school. And we used to talk, and we would say over and over, you know how you say, how many kids you want? What you want? I used to repeatedly say, I want like 3 kids. I said 2. I used to always say 3 kids, boy, girl, and I don't know, the last one could be a girl or a boy. It doesn't matter. I said, but I prefer a boy, but it didn't matter. I just knew that the first 2 had to be a boy, because I wanted my boy to be oldest, and then a girl, and then the last one. And sure enough, I had 3 kids, a boy, a girl, and a boy. Like, somebody could be like, oh, that's just coincidental. I don't think it is, because I said it too often. I said it with conviction, and I didn't say it like, oh, please. I said it like just saying it like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have three kids. Yeah, that's what I want. I want 3. I said it, and it was, and I left it. I wasn't pleading. I was like, oh, I wasn't like when I got pregnant the first time, like, oh, this better be a boy. I thought I was having a girl. I honestly did. I thought my first child was about to be a girl. It was a boy. It was. So it was. And when I got pregnant, when I got pregnant a second time with my daughter, I knew it was a girl. And it wasn't because I was like, oh, please let it be a girl, because I said this is what I wanted. No, I just knew. I was like, oh, it's a girl. Don't ask me how I knew. I just knew. And sure enough, I remember at the time my sister-in-law, she was like, oh, what do you think you having? I said, oh, it's a girl. She was like, nah, I think you having a boy. I was like, no, it's a girl. Like, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but I know it's a girl. I know. Desires doesn't make them weak, desperate, or unrealistic. It makes them human, and it points toward alignment. So in what ways can we align? How can we align ourselves to attract our desires? So we align our desires with authenticity. That's how we attract our desires. We start to tap in and connect with our feminine energy and be who we are, who we truly are. Just be who we are. Not performing who we think we are, being who we are, just simply being and accepting it. Like, I accept the fact that I talk a lot. Okay. I do. I used to try to be like, I talk a lot. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will make sure that, I with me understanding and knowing I talk a lot and accepting that and not trying to act like I don't, I'm self-aware enough to know, like, okay, I may be, taking over the conversation. Okay, I don't want to interrupt nobody, and I don't want to overtalk. So I want you to repeat this affirmation. I'm open and receptive to attracting my desires. My desires allow me to live in my truth and see myself fully in my authenticity. Let's say that again. I'm open and receptive to attracting my desires. My desires allow me to live in my truth and see myself fully in my authenticity. So, suppressing desires equals what? Misalignment. Owning desires equals what? Clarity and manifestation. Got that? When you suppress your desires, you are misaligning yourself. When you own your desires, you are gaining clarity and manifestation. So, right now, I want to invite y'all to reflect on your journal prompt. What is the one desire I've been afraid to admit out loud? And what would shift if I owned it? So I want y'all to take time, think about it, write it in your journal, what that one desire is that you've been afraid to admit, that you've been afraid to say out loud to yourself, not even to other people, to you. You've been afraid to say it out loud. You be thinking it subconsciously, but you try to suppress it. But what is it? Say it out loud to yourself. And what would a shift, what would shift if you owned it? What would change if you owned that? What do you think would happen? Okay, so thank y'all for listening. I do a lot of this. So if y'all enjoyed this podcast, make sure you join my free community, Attract Your Tribe, at softandblack.com/community. It's free. You could come over there because I have monthly themes that helps guide you and support you on your journey to connecting and attracting to your feminine energy. And with this group, it's a safe, sacred place for you to come and you to really be able to let your guard down and talk about the vulnerabilities and the challenges of connecting to your feminine energy. And it's tools that you have that you can use, and you can go at your own pace. You need to peek in, you need a little something, you can do that. Yes, definitely join that group, because my community is going to allow you to connect to your feminine energy, which allows you to practice naming and aligning your desires in a safe space, in a safe, beautiful space. And I'm also looking and seeking for community members so that I can have community roles. So if you want to be a member and you want to have a role right now, I'm looking for roles like a welcome committee, people to welcome new members in. I'm looking for someone who keeps the morale up, who keeps the engagement up. I'm looking for people who help with like reflections, journal prompts, and even getting into like event coordinating and just connecting women together in the group. So make sure you come. You can sign up for that, and then you can also sign up and submit for any of those community roles. And I'm growing, taking my time growing. I don't have a problem with that. Even if you want to, there's no pressure. If you want to sign up just to see what it's about, sign up just to see what it's about. If it ain't your thing, if it ain't your bag, if it ain't your flow, hey, all you got to do is just delete. All you got to do is remove yourself, exit out. It is nothing to where you are chained to the community. It is a free community. So if you just want to peek your head in and be nosy and see what it is, peek your head in and be nosy and see what it is, and fill it out for a little bit, and then you can go on by your way if you want to. But when you do join, you do get a free 7-day Soft Girl Era digital ebook. So not digital ebook. when you do sign up and join the free community, you will receive a copy of the Soft Girl Era ebook. So you will get that 7 days Soft Girl Era ebook. You will be able to receive that just for joining. Okay? Just for joining. So I thank you all for tapping in. Thank y'all all for listening. Please comment below. What are your desires? What do you desire? What do you feel like you can't obtain? Like if there's a desire you want and you feel like it's silly or frivolous, you tell me your thoughts. Share this with another sis. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I will see y'all on the flip side. Because what? You are divine by design. Peace and blessings.